All right. Good evening once again, everyone. Welcome to Digitech Hub. Okay, so this is cybersecurity session, and just a quick recap on what we did last time. But I would like to confirm if you can still hear my. Hope my audio is still good. My audio is still good. Hello. And I hope you are still seeing my screen.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, but your screen is up. Is your face that is down? Your screen is up.
Okay, let me check. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so welcome once again. In our last session, we started looking at, I think it was, I did a kind of recapping on some of the things we have done before, just to bring us to the same page. So basically what we treated was cyber security. Though we started with the general introduction to cybersecurity, where we define cybersecurity as the process of protecting, securing application, network, and systems. Thereafter, we moved to some of the cyber security threats, and I highlighted the reason why it is very key or important for us to understand these threats, because they mean a lot to us as cybersecurity experts. It is our responsibility to understand what are the possible threats within the cyberspace, because once you are able to identify them, that will form the basis of your activities. In other words, that informs you on what you need to ensure that is protected within your system. So under which we talk about malwares, and I told us that malwares are threats in our computer system that we must ensure that do not gain access or exist within our systems. So we also took our time to highlight some of the type of malware, where we talk about the Trojan, the virus, and we talk about spyware. All these are threats which falls under malware as one of the major cybersecurity threats. So the video is right there so that we can move to the next item. The video is there for us to go through and understand what we covered in that class. So basically that class was an introduction to cybersecurity. But tonight we are shifting our focus to what I can call Windows security features. Windows security features. And this is one of the most let's say, the most important part of cyber security. Now, because of Mr. Joshua, you are welcome joining us for the very first time. I would like to give us a kind of the scope of this training so that we have an idea of what we are expected to learn after this training. Now, cybersecurity is actually divided into two broad branches. We need to understand that, so you know why we are still on this phase. We have the first phase, which is known as the Window Security Plus, which falls under the technical skills that every cyber security professional or practitioner must understand. So what is the Windows security that we are talking about? So we all know that our computer is one of the most used device for exploring the internet. So any device that is used to exploit the internet, it becomes our responsibility to ensure its protection. It becomes our responsibility to ensure that such a device is saved. For example, the computer system is one of them, and it is expected that you know how the Microsoft Windows that governs, that control the activities of the system works. Well, like I told them in that section, our focus as cybersecurity practitioner is not on how to create folder, how to save file in a folder. Yes, these are expected fundamentals you should have mastered before probably rolling into programs like this, because this is a professional and advanced computer program. But our focus is we need to learn how to exploit the security features within that operating system, which we call the Windows 11, the Windows 10. So our focus is to know what are the tools, what are the features that are incorporated within the Microsoft Windows that you as a cybersecurity practitioner can use to program the system to be protected or against being affected by malware and other words, threats. So that is our focus. So like I said, we are focusing on Windows security feature. Windows. I expect us to be making our notes each time we are having a session like this. Windows security. Windows security features. Sorry. So what do we mean by Windows security feature? The general definition of this is that these are inbuilt security tools within the Microsoft operating system. So if you are using Linux computer, there are also what security features. Every operating system has inbuilt security features. So these features are the features we want to exploit. We want to know how to use them to protect our system. Now, just to mention them, so we can say, just to give us an overview of what Windows security features are. So the window has some important security features built into Microsoft Windows, such as we have let me see if I can list them so that for the sake of those that are writing. So example of them, the first one we have Windows, because we are going to be taking them one after the other and also looking at them from the practical perspective. So not just knowing them theoretically, we need to know how to set them up, how to adjust them. So we have the Window Defender, we have the Window Defender, Antivirus. So this is one of the Windows security feature. They will also have the Windows firewalls. We have the Windows firewalls. We have the Windows firewalls. And then number 3, we have what we call UAC. We have UAC. Or let me write the full meaning before the acronym. We have the user accounts, the user account control, which is abbreviated to UAC. Right, so let me see if I can increase this for better visibility. Okay, so we have number 4, we have what we call the BitLocker. The BitLocker drive encryption. We have the BitLocker encryption. All these forms your Windows security feature. Then we have I think I need to, let me see if I can take this. Come in. So we have what they call the Windows Hello. We have number 6, we have the security boot. So we have number 6, we have the device encryption. This should be number 7, if I'm correct. The number 8 rather, we have the Windows updates. We have the device, we have Microsoft Defender. We have Microsoft Defender. We have Microsoft Defender SmartScreen. Then of course we have backup. And restore. I hope you are hearing me. Mr. Joshua, can you hear me? Let me confirm my audio again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So basically, these are the key Windows security features. You see, all these features that I have listed here, you should know how to manage them within your Windows as part of what forms your technical skills. So we also have ethical hacking, which is still part of this training, but we are starting, and that is the standard way of learning cybersecurity. It is expected that you master the Windows security, which form the basis of this program, and then before you advance to ethical hacking. So that is the scope. So we are going to spend some time understanding the Microsoft Windows security management before we go into ethical hacking. So this is actually very light. It's not that really complex like ethical hacking. So penetration testing or ethical hacking will take much of our time. All right, so the speed of our learning ethical hacking is based on how we understand the Windows security, because certain foundation will have been laid. And that is why I would advise every one of us to pay attention to this, because if you skip this aspect, your knowledge in ethical hacking will still be very shallow. All right, so now that we understand them, I would like us to start taking them one after the other. I want to believe we must have taken down our note, because okay, let me see, but I wanted to take this off. Let me see if I can duplicate this just to focus on. So let's look at the first one, which is Windows Defender, Windows Defender Antivirus. So how do we define Windows Defender Antivirus? So Microsoft's Defender Antivirus is the built-in antivirus. We all know what is called antivirus. So let's start from virus. Remember, we have discussed virus in that session, which is the last class, as a malware. I will define malware as a suspicious software that can, that can compromise your system. So it should be avoided. So when we say antivirus, it means that it is a software, is a security software. In fact, we refer to it professional-wise as intrusion detection system. Sometimes when you hear all this grammar, trying to, paint it to make it look more professional. What is an intrusion detection system? An example of it is the antivirus. So a system or a software you configured within your system, number one, to detect intruders. Intruders are people that try to break into your system without seeking your consent, without legal permission. All right, so that forms what we call intruders. So when you program your antivirus, or when you install an antivirus will act as a window defender, because it's going to defend the window from contacting malware, such as virus, Trojan, worm, spyware, and the rest of them. So we need to understand the role the Windows Defender plays, because after explaining it theoretically, each one we are picking, we will look at the practical aspects. So we are not going to explain all of them before we consider their practical aspects. So once I'm done with this, we will switch to how can we set it up within our system before we come back to pick the next one. All right, I hope we are following. Can I get a response from at least one person?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So let me take that definition again. Microsoft Windows Defender Antivirus is the built-in antivirus. So which means that instead of you buying external antivirus, we have external antivirus. So it's just like you having your door, and you still went ahead to go and hire someone as a policeman or as a soldier or whatever form of security personnel, that means that you have considered the internal security not strong enough, and you want to support the internal security system with a higher external hand. Well, you know what? And I'm going to tell us something today. You can't see me installing antivirus in my system as a cybersecurity expert. I will tell us the reason. And you shouldn't advise your clients, the ordinary user of the window, to go that way. I am doing that because I understand how to leverage, how to program the internal, the built-in antivirus. But for somebody who is not in this class, you shouldn't tell the person that you can do without what? External antivirus. So why we install external antivirus for them is that because we know that they cannot exploit this feature. They don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to program it in a way that it will make it very difficult for external person to penetrate in. And not just that, even me myself that will have programmed it, there are times that when I want to download certain things, it will block them. But I know where to go to turn it on temporarily. Once I'm done downloading that, if I am sure that what I am downloading is from the right source. Because sometimes when you program all these security feature within your window, you will now find out that they will now be oversensitive. You know, I like relating these things to the physical security. And I want any of you to answer the question I'm going to ask now. You know, when you are too security conscious, if anybody passes through your window, what do? Please unmute yourself and respond to this question.
You stretch out your neck to see who is the person.
But meanwhile,
or whatever is part.
But does that make the person a thief?
No.
Good. So this is exactly how, when you program all these features very well, you will notice that anything you are doing, it will be suspecting it. Number one, you are not using a licensed Microsoft window. Most of the windows we are using in this part of the world, they are crack windows. In other words, they are windows that somebody created a software that will make it to behave as if it's the original copy. And that is why we cannot guarantee the security of our windows. All right? Because we are not using the licensed Microsoft Windows feature. And that is why you see that we update every now and then, try to keep them alive. But ordinarily, if you purchase Microsoft's license window, you will discover that the security of your system will now be totally handled by Microsoft. And that's why you see some individuals that will reject downloading all this crack Microsoft Word and Excel. They will rather go and enroll with Microsoft Office and be paying monthly because they want to be sure of certain security. Now, connecting it back, it means that every window has an antivirus inside it that comes with it as an inbuilt. That particular antivirus is what we are referring to as Windows Defender. I just added that antivirus so that you know that is an antivirus. So I will have just ended it at Windows Defender. So if you are asked anytime as a cyber security professional, what is Windows Defender? Can somebody unmute and use a layman term to explain it? Because when you say Windows Defender, it's as if it's too advanced. How can you break it down for a layman that do not understand this field? Can somebody unmute and tell me?
Is an internal antivirus.
Antivirus, simple as that. Internal antivirus. So let me continue with the notes. I said Microsoft Defender antivirus is the built-in antivirus in Windows. That's now we are picking the major function. What exactly? Why is it built in? What is the role? What role will it be playing? That is what our focus should be, not just knowing it. So number one is to what? Protect your computer from malware. To protect your computer from malware. That is number one function of what? The window defender. Number two, from virus. From virus. Viruses. I can say virus. Number three, spyware. Remember that was why I started with that last class. So in that last class, I have explained the meaning of all these malware and other threats in real time. That's the keyword, real time. Real time. Sorry, who is iPhone? I need to know who is iPhone. You can tell us your name. Who is iPhone? Or is it the same person? Please, who is iPhone, please? Okay, so I'm waiting for iPhone to respond. I believe he's one of the students in the group. I just wanted to be sure. All right, so real time. Now, let me explain that word real time. We have what we call bash and what? Real time. Now, when the security of a system is real time, what we are saying is that as it is happening, for example, if you are downloading stuff from the internet and you are not sure of that word directory or that particular word platform, as you are downloading it, if your window defender is set up properly, it's going to detect it immediately and block it. And that is where you get notifications like when you are downloading that the app is blocked because probably it found some suspected software within it. So we need to understand that every system should have this setup. Otherwise, there will be room for malware virus to enter. So now let's quickly look at the steps on how to set it up. How do we set up our window defender? All right, so this is the Microsoft window and this is window 11. So how do I set it? How do I even know? Supposing you are employed and you are given set of system to ensure their security using the window as the operating system or as the system manager application. So how do I reach out to where the defender is to know its current setting status, whether there are some vulnerabilities or everything is in order. So you don't assume, you have to check. So the first thing we are going to do is to open the Windows security by clicking on the start menu. So once you click on the start menu like this, you are going to see settings. So once you click on the settings, we are expected to see the feature we are looking for, which is what? Windows security. Now, sometimes you will find it under privacy/security, depending on the window you are using. And most times you can also find it at update and security. So you can see part of the things I mentioned: backup, recovery, update. All this falls under what? Window security. So now let me explore it and see the features we have there. Now, what we are actually looking for is that bucket that harbors most of the system security, which should be accessed through Windows security. Now, once you open it, you are going to see all these protection areas. You see all these are the area that you need to prioritize. They are what? Safetiness. You need to make sure that intruder do not have access to them easily. So let's look at the first one, because this one is the one that protects the system from contacting virus. So you open it up. We are still coming to other ones. So now from here, let's wait for the features to open properly. Okay, now there is what we call security threat analysis. And when we get to probably the ethical hacking or the penetration testing aspect, we are going to look at about 8 different careers that you can build around cybersecurity. A lot of people don't know this. They just know the general umbrella. At the end of the day, this field is very wide. At the end of the day, you are expected to identify where exactly you fall into. So, for example, there are some persons that will be addressed as what? Cybersecurity what? Analysts. What is going to be their major work? Their major work is to analyze threats. So when they are called upon and they go into system, they are going to check what are the vulnerability what analysis. In other words, what are the possible loopholes? What are the threats? And once they present their report to the main cybersecurity specialist, that person knows what and what to block to avoid that what happening. So why do I have to say that? This is where he or she that calls himself a cybersecurity analyst, he must what? Know how to manage this particular interface we are. For example, now you can see the current threat analysis. So at the end of the day, you are going to stand before the stakeholder after, because you are not going to bring them here live. You are going to sit down and then visit all these features. That is the reason why I'm walking us through all these features. Because when they ask, okay, can you present a report that shows us the security status of each system in that office? So you are going to come to places like this, and then you see what is currently saying. There are some systems that have not been connected to internet for a while. If you open it and you get to this interface, this is not what you will get. You might not get no current threats. You might get information like 100 threats available or 5 threats available. But right now, what I'm having is that what? No threat. And that is not enough for you to say no threat. You need to look at when was this analysis performed. And look at the date here that the system was scanned on the 6th of that's June 25, 2026. At what time? 3:18 what a.m. And what type of scan was performed? Because this is where you should pay more attention. So if the scanning that is presenting this report is not a detailed one, it's not enough for you to write a report that the system is safe or protected, because you need to put this into what? Perspective. Quick scan. And what is quick scan? Quick scan is where people are not patient enough to allow the full scanning, just like shallow scanning. And this scan does not go to the root of the system. It focuses on key folders and files. And that is why it will conclude the process faster, because it's not checking everything. A practical example is just like somebody said that check whether the compound is safe. Then you just peep through your window and then the direction you are facing, because nothing is happening there. Then you now write a report that something, as in nothing is happening, the compound is safe. But meanwhile, if you want to do a comprehensive security check, you will come out from that your house Then look around the entire building before you can come and say there is no threat. So that is how it is when you run quick scan. Don't expect that the system is 100% safe. So that now take me to how do we now change it from quick scan to full scan and the other type of what? Scanning. Now you can see where we have scan option here. So if you want to still, let's say you want to run another threat analysis, you just click here. And then once you click here, you notice that what is running your threat. And please, when you are doing all this, make sure that your system is on the internet, because there are a lot of assistance it will synchronize from the internet to enhance giving you accurate what information. So what I'm doing right now is what you should do. Probably you should have a time, a space interval where you do. Maybe when you come to the office or every 2 days, you scan your threats. You scan for threats. It's something that you have to be doing. So I don't think that somebody's going to be paying you all those millions, because if you are not well paid, somebody can compromise you. And like I always tell my students, it is very simple to know why cybersecurity experts are highly paid. If you have a secretary that sees the billions that you make, and you pay the person 10,000 in a month, I want you to unmute and talk back to me. Do you think you are safe? You have a secretary that want to see the money coming, 1 billion, 2 billion, and the when month end, you give the person 10,000. I'm asking us if you can respond back. Are you sure that boss is safe?
No.
What do you think will happen to that boss?
The person will look for a way forward to like steal from the person.
Good. And
Steal from the
sometimes,
boss.
good. Sometimes an outsider can easily go through such a person to compromise the security. It's possible. And that is why you see in the bank, anywhere the service of a cybersecurity expert is involved, they are highly paid, because they understand the implication of somebody coming from the outside to induce them with money. But if they are well paid, that's why you see bank now, you hardly see them. In fact, the number of guarantors they will supply or submit, and they will pay them very well. They will take care of them. They will give them good allowance, because they know that they have access to the company's sensitive domains and file. So they have to be paid so that people don't compromise them. And that is why you see anybody who's scaled through learning this, particularly if you are opportune to travel out of the country, you have so many, you can never be stranded, because even over there, you will see individual, just like the way some of us here, we hire a lawyer, we have family lawyer, we have personal lawyer, that when it comes to legal issue, we consult, not until those lawyers are employed working in the courts. So if you travel outside the country, even in Nigeria here, most of these politicians, they have most of those aides that you hear them having. Most of them, they have security team, people who perform security surveillance, who when they want to maybe enter WhatsApp, they consult them. How do I behave there for me to be safe? Sometimes people don't consider all this. That's why it looks as if this part of the world, people have not really come to value this problem. By the time they will value it, it will have been expensive, because the moment almost everything switched to internet, which is gradually happening now, the more information we have in the internet space, the more the security of those data will be prioritized. And that's why you see data analytics and cybersecurity, they are the highest promoter of tech now. The reason is that those same data that are stored in the internet or the internet space, then the company now require individuals, data analysts, to come and help them to draw insights that can be used to make decision, while they are also involving a cybersecurity professional to ensure that those same data are safe. So you can see why the two programs are promoting or placed side by side. So in as much the internet space keep expanding, this field called cybersecurity can never be obsolete. It can never. The only thing that can happen is that at a point, because of the introduction of the machine language and the AI, which we are going to focus on probably in the next class, security evolution, you will notice that as the security of the internet space is expanding or is prioritized, now the AI is now coming to automate some of the processes. So a time will come whereby is you as a cybersecurity professional will not do anything. Sometimes you will not do anything much. You will just program those AI security feature, and then you get the maximum results. But when it started, an expert have to go there, configure this. Everything was just like manual configuration before a system can be secure. But today, you can install an antivirus, program it to update automatically, such that all the system needs is just internet. While you are busy surfing the internet for all manner of things, then all the securities they are working at the background. So you can see that we have completed the threat analysis. So what happened here now, what you did now, technically is called threat analysis. And what is threat analysis? Threat analysis is the breakdown or is analysis that gives you an insight to the security, the threats, the threats possibility. So now I'm talking about changing the scan method, since we have said this is not reliable. So you go to scan option, and then from there you will see the options. You can see quick scan, check folder in. So you remember when I said, so anytime you perform quick scan or quick threats scanning, you can now see what you are checking. You can see this is not a complete system. If a virus is stored outside the folder, it will still be there. So check folders in your system where threats are commonly found. Let's look at the full option. Check all files and running programs. So let's say you are running CorelDRAW or Photoshop, whatever it is. While you are working, if your window defender is in place, it will also ensure that the malware does not take advantage of that time, that read time you are using it to break down the program. Then program on your hard disk. So this scan could take longer time. So this is one of the major reasons why you see individual depending on what quick scan, because they don't want to wait. But you as a cybersecurity expert, you must create that time. You must have a timetable of when the activities on those systems that the users are using, because most time you do your work when the systems are less busy. And that is why we check now in the bank. Sometimes when they want to carry out a major maintenance, when they send you a message that their service is done, they're trying to notify it. Sometimes it could just be a schedule of maintenance. Their ICT or their IT professional must have given them a notification that we want to carry out a kind of security check on the system. So, and it's going to take like 1 hour or 2 days or 3 days. Then the responsible bank will now mail all their clients that also time the server will be done. That time they are telling you that the server will be done. Some of their experts are working at the back. I hope we are still following. Let me get a response.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now we have the custom. So custom is where you choose. So sometimes there could be a particular folder in your system that you are suspecting whether it's not safe. So you can just use this. And the moment you use this option, it's going to ask you to select the particular file you want to scan within the system. And then we have what? The Microsoft Defender offline. This one means that even when your computer is not connected to the internet, you'll be able to what? To scan. So let's say I want to go ahead with the what? The custom, because that is where you have the privilege of choosing what or which aspect of your system you want to check. So now, once you have done that, so I've just programmed it now. So let me go down and check. Then once you have selected the option, then you click on scan now. So the moment I click on scan now, you see that what? It opened my system storage because I said custom for me to specify which of the folder or which aspects do you want to perform security check on. So let's say I have some file here that I just collected from someone, but I'm not sure whether there is whether it is free from virus. So I will just select it like this, and it's telling me that well, okay, this one is not inbuilt, it should be inside. So let me click on desktop and say, for example, I want to scan this particular folder, or let's say I want to scan this, and then I click on this, and then you see that the scanning has started and has what? Completed, because I just scan only what? That particular folder, and in that particular folder, I have 7 files. I hope that is clear. So that is how to program it on what? Scan. There are times that maybe somebody connect a flash drive. It is that flash drive that you want to scan. You don't have time to start checking everything. It's through the same custom scan you are going to do that. So now, having explained that, let's go back to the main page and look at some other things. So now you know what to do here. Now let's look at this allow threats. How do I manage it? Remember, all these are under what? Windows security, and they are under what? Windows Defender. So now, if you look at this now, talk about what? Allow threat. Now, let's assume that while you were opening your flash drive or whatever, and you were notified that there's a suspected file here in this particular folder. Do you want me? Window will bring option. One thing about window is that it will bring option that will tell you, do you want to allow it or not? So if there's any threat that you allow, probably mistakenly or probably because you're desperate to exploit that file, it will be recorded here. Right now, we have no threat. Now, you can check the protection history, which is also an important feature. You can also get it from the main page if you don't want to get it from here. So I can get it from the main page. I think I have it there. So let me go back there. I have the protection history here. Now, it is very important we understand the role this protection history plays. Now, this protection history is what will enable you to generate a report that will tell the company that you are working. Because sometimes they will ask, okay, since you started monitoring the system, what have you achieved so far? How many? You just like, okay, let me conceptualize it. For example, you hire the service of a soldier, and when month end, you are like, what have you really done that deserve you to be paid? The soldier is going to tell you that there was a day a thief was trying to break into this house, and because of my presence, I was able to repel the person. So as a security professional, you must be documented. You must have a way of, you must know where all the protection, all the things that you have prevented are collated, so that you can now present that as your report to show that you are actually active, since we are leveraging on AI. Because they may not be saying you doing this, but you know that within the AI, there's a place, there's a log where all these preventions are stored. So from there you go there. That is what this protection history stands for. So you can see these three items that are mentioned here. Imagine your Windows Security Defender was not properly sent. All this will have been given access. All this will have entered your system. Probably must have what? Probably caused some damages. So now you can now, report that on the 6th or 20, on the 29th of June, so time, this is what you protected the system from. And what is it? The setting to block potential what unwanted app is, then this is where you check. Now, though depending on the filter category here, so you can come here and say, okay, I want to know those ones that were quarantined. Quarantine is this. It's just like when somebody is terrorizing, I like relating them to the normal security that we all know or see every day around us, because sometimes this program is not far from that. Just that those ones protect a physical space while we protect what? The virtual world space. But somehow our mindsets somehow crosses each other. For example, and you are going to answer the question, the people that they call suspected, when a policeman apprehend all these people that have not been tried in court, what do they used to call them? Can somebody reply? People that have not been tried in court, what do they used to call them? They used to call the criminal.
Suspect.
Suspect. Good.
Suspect.
Now, I will ask you, why at that level where they are still seen as suspects, did they keep them in the resale or the prison? Hello?
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
they are kept.
Okay, let me hear you, Mr. Chris.
They are kept. I think remind room, something like that.
Okay, they are kept. How many of us have visited police station? Whether they have arrested you before, or maybe you went there to bail your loved one. If you have been there before, you notice the way they call counter. Have you?
You have played it before.
Okay.
Chris has played it before.
Sorry. Okay.
Chris has left there before.
No, I'm not sure. Chris is a pastor. Or maybe before he repented. I know. Except that time. Now, what I'm saying is this. While they are still scrutinizing them, while they are still torturing them, they will not throw them in that main place where they will ask them to off their clothes and start serving their punishment. Right? But at that moment, they will keep them where they cannot harm others, isn't it? They will keep them where they will be constrained while they are trying them. That is quarantine. Now let's bring it here. Now, when you connect your flash drive, the window will tell you, hey, this thing is, I'm not sure, I can't verify the source. This is a suspected file. There could be malware. And then the window feature will now tell you, do you want me to quarantine it? Depending on when you will decide. So that quarantine will take that virus that will have damaged the system and put it where it will not have any impact, where it can no longer fly, just like it will be caged somewhere temporarily. That's what we are saying, to be caged somewhere temporarily, where it can no longer harm others. So by the time you now see it, you will now look at whatever that must have been quarantined. And then from there, you will now say that, this is severe. There, you can now from there, finally what? Delete it. Now, the advice is this. Sometime when the system pop up that there's a virus in this file, do you want to delete it or you want to quarantine it? If you rush to delete it, there are some virus that must have eaten deep in that file that they can no longer be separated from the file. So when you rush to delete the virus, by the time you think that you have removed the virus, by the time you go back, you now find out that the file itself has gone. So that is why the best thing you should do, you quarantine. so that you can still have access. In other words, you have put it where it's subjected to certain control while you check the file. I don't know if I'm making sense. Is that clear? I hope you are following.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so because we need to understand these terms, that is what quarantine means. Now, recommendation, this is where it's asking if you filter based on recommendation, then I'm just talking about the filter. You can filter based on items that have been quarantined. So all these are still constant in all of them. That is why nothing is changing. But if you come across a system where there are so many security threats, if I have not connected the system to internet for like 2 weeks now, and I come to this place, just check just ask, even when you are done, you can check your system, and then you will see different things from what you can see a very long list. All right, so these are the things you need to know. These are the places you need to know how to visit that will help you to report the security situation of that system. So let me go back to the main page. We are still exploring the features, taking them one after the other. Now, there's another one that is here. Look at it here. Manage. This one is very important because there are times that you are trying to download something, or you are trying to copy a file from someone, or you are trying to perform an installation, and you know very well that that thing is not a virus, or that file is trusted. But because you have locked all your door, all your window, everything, you are over security conscious. The window is what? Blocking it. So what you do is that as an expert, you come here. It might be a file the company want to drop. It might be a software that they must install that time. So you will not say that and you have verified it, but just that the window is suspecting it. You will now on your own disable those features. That's where you come to manage. And when you come to manage, you see this page, you must know how to manage it. And one good thing I love about Windows is that there is always an explanation to every function. So that if you are tampering with it, you know the implication. Like here, and I think I already say, locate and stop malware from installing or running on your what device. You can turn off this setting for a short time before it turns back automatically. Once you turn this off like this, it means that anytime, so that this is a security alert. Now, it means that you have given permission this particular time to the window to accept that which is blocking. Why is the window recommending short time? Because if it happens, because if you do not turn it back, the hackers, the black hat hacker, takes advantage of things like this that are not on. So if somebody is sending a malware into this system, and at that moment, if it stays too long, it means the person can take advantage. That's why they advise you what? Let it be what? Short time. So that as soon as you are done with what you are doing, you lock it back, because the hackers takes advantage of this. So once you turn it off, it will allow you to proceed with what? But there are some that you will still need to turn off the main engine room that control whatever that comes in and whatever that goes out, which is part of one of those features that I mentioned as firewall. Sometimes window firewall, window defender, they go together, as you can see it here. So the firewall is just like a fence, just like the gatekeeper that check whatever that comes into the system and whatever that goes outside the system. Sometime after turning off that very one, then the system will still be blocking something. So what you will do in that case, you will now have to check other things that can make it not to grant the system that permission. So if you come here now, like this, for example, this submit, this one now, you can see that it's taking me from, let me see, it's taking me to, let's say I want to submit information to the Microsoft itself. That is what it's saying. Now, You see this one, I can, sometime when you turn off the first one, let's read through what we have under there. Let me take it one after the other. Let's look at this cloud delivered protection. Provide increased and faster protection with access to the latest protection data in the cloud. Works best with automatic sample submission. Turn on. Now, you know, what we are saying here is that this Microsoft, as in this particular copy that is running in this particular computer, was downloaded into a CD, and then a technician installed it, which means that if it was downloaded last year and you install it today, the system is dated back to that year. All the new features that has been developed and upgraded in the subsequent versions will not be in your system. And that is why Windows Update is recommended to keep that copy that is in your system up to date, such that it does not lose the security value. Because these are the things the hackers takes advantage of. When the window is outdated, those security features will not be active until you patch them up. And that process of patching them is what we refer to as Windows Update. So that is why it was listed as part of security feature, because that process of you updating the window is a way of, energizing it, is a way of giving it more power, is a way of keeping it current. And when it is current, is more informed when it comes to the new ways of security breach. And that is why you must ensure that your window is up to date. Probably maybe in the next class, I will dwell much on that window update. Now, you can see it talking about cloud. Now, where I am going here now is that there are some information that Microsoft, as soon as your system is on the internet, if this is turned on, Microsoft will automatically deliver some latest protection of data or information into this window that will keep it secure. But if you turn it off, now the reason why we will turn it off when you want to, because the moment you are, just like you are asking Microsoft to do something and you are not running the genuine copy. So in that process of trying to deliver it, it will first of all check the legitimacy of that copy, and then from there you cannot be caught that so that is why sometimes when it's still blocking, you come and turn all this off. But if it is on, then it means it is active. So that gives Microsoft access to deliver some protection data into the system. So now we have automatic sample submission. You see this one, implicate a lot. Send sample file to Microsoft. You are running a cracked version. When you turn this on, now in a real life, when you are working in an organization, all this should be turned on. These are the things you have to monitor. This should be turned on. Because if you turn it on, it will not be sending the sample. So if somebody trying to penetrate into your system, once a sample of that information is sent to Microsoft, Microsoft will be able to scrutinize it and check, no. Maybe that will have escaped your security structure. Because you have a higher power that is submitted to check it, then that might detect it. That is what this does. Now, we have this. Now, this one is just like you are saying that you want to submit it manually. And that is why it's taking us to this. Because I'm on the internet, you can submit a file for malware analysis. So you can submit a file to Microsoft. It's going to analyze it whether it has malware or not. All right, so these are some important features. Then we have tamper protection, which prevents others from tampering with important security feature. This one must also be turned on, because what those guys will do is that when you download something from the internet, they have already infused some malware that when you open the file, remember from the last class, I said virus will not enter the system until the file that is attached to is open. Now, once that file that they attach it to opens, then is going to come here and turn off all this. You see the logic now. To turn off all this in order to give them access. So they first of all send this software. They know that your security, your window have security feature that must have been put in place. So they will sneak in through that stuff you are downloading, and then that spyware, that malware will not turn off these doors, then for them to enter. So you can see the risks some individuals are taking without consulting cybersecurity experts. And one of the reasons why you see overseas, they value this course now is that most of their things are stored in the cloud. Most even like Nigeria here now, if you go to the bank now, you hardly see CPU again. All their softwares are now cloud installed software, which means that the security is stronger. I hope we are still following. So you can also change your notification. I don't know if you are seeing this part. Let me take this up. Let me get a response if we are still following. So let's change notification setting. So let's look at now Windows Secure. Now you know that anytime this place is also very important. You know it. You know, anytime you try to load a software or you try to copy something from your flash drive, you always see that notification that comes up and tell you yes or no, right? That the one that will tell you, I cannot verify this vendor. You are trying to install unverify. Then the window will give you option. Do you want me to allow it or not? You now click on what? Yes. And then the moment you click on yes, it means you have assented to what or consented to the security what of that system. Now, if you say get information what, permissioner what, notification, if you turn this off, you may not get all those notifications that you used to get here. You know, you can see that this is one notification I'm currently having here, activate window. This is coming from Microsoft. So once you turn off this, you are not going to. So some persons must have mistakenly turned off this and they are not getting security notification. And to them now, all is well. So meanwhile, all is not well. So you as a professional, once you come in, these are the things you ensure are all these settings. What's supposed to be on? Is it on? What's supposed to be off? Is it off? These are ways you secure the system. And that is why the training starts from window security. Because these are the things that you need to know. So account protection notification, get account protection notification. Most of these things, if you know that your system is not going to go to internet often, that is the only thing that can save you from Microsoft detecting you. A computer that is going on the internet on a regular basis, sometimes you notice that Microsoft will easily detect and they tell you that what you are running not a license a copy. I hope we are still together. So now let's see what we have there. We have the domain firewall, we have the private firewall, we have the public firewall. Now, like I said before, firewall is what check outgoing and incoming transaction within your system. It's just like the main security bone or backbone within your window. Whatever that is going out of your system, the firewall checked it. Whatever that is coming in, it checks it. So if you turn this off, we have private network because it focuses on network. We have private network, we have public network. When we get to networking fundamental, because you are going to learn networking fundamental, Python fundamental. All these are part of what you need as cybersecurity professionals. When we get to that networking fundamental, you understand more of what we call IP address, and you know that IP address has a private IP address, and then we have a public IP address. But pending when we get there, just know that when your computer is connected to the internet, a public address will be generated. So when that same computer is connected to the intranet, that is what network within your office, that computer is on a private network. And that is why computers have two IP addresses. Either the IP address is private or the IP address is what? Public. So if they ask you what's the difference, the public address is when it's on the public, as the internet. Private is when it's connected to what? Private network. So now with that explanation, you know whether you need to turn this on or off. So I ask you, do you think it's wise, it's professional for us to leave this on? I'm asking. This is what I just explained now.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if you turn this off, you are saying that what? The firewall should not check what? Where the computer is what? In a private network. So if there is virus within that network, then you have just what? Permitted it. That is what you are saying. They're the same thing to public what? Firewall. So if you turn it off, you are automatically saying that if the computer is on the public network, which is the internet, you should not bother to what? To check. And when that happens, it's just like you are exempting some doors. You have concluded that thieves cannot follow those doors. And meanwhile, thieves themselves, they look for loopholes, vulnerability. They will come and spy first and check, okay, which door is always open, which gate which gate this person does not always pay attention to. So this is how people easily fall victim, because they don't pay attention to anything that they are doing on the internet, which is very bad. Some are on Facebook, they are not guided, because some feel that cybersecurity is not the business of all. But I can tell you, everybody need to have this knowledge, whether you are using it professionally or for basic purpose, at least for you to be able to know what can implicate you when you are on the internet space, what can expose you to attack. That alone is a plus. So like I always tell students, the best security is awareness. When you are aware that something is happening somewhere, you run away instead of you getting there and then you start struggling how to find your way. So exploit all this. Let me see, that was from what? Manage setting. Any questions so far on what we have explained before I proceed to other ones? Any question? Do we have questions?
No question.
Okay, Mr. Joshua, do you have question? I was asking
Yes,
who
yes.
is
I'm trying to
iPhone, please, if you
the,
can hear us.
the place where you go to the virus and threat protection notification.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see that place where you click to get that notification.
Yes, we click on, look at it here, manage setting. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Are you seeing it? So
I'm
once
there,
you once you click on manage setting, then you go down. You go down. You go down. I think I click on the I click on this option. Was this option? Let me see. No. Was it that? Change. Look at it here. Can you see it now?
The funny thing is that my own ended at just exclusion.
Are you joining with your laptop?
Yes.
Okay, if you can share your laptop, let me see. It depends on the window you are using. Share your laptop.
Okay, no, I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone.
Okay.
I use my phone.
So which window are you using? Because the structure.
Windows 11.
Okay, Windows 11, and which series? Because sometimes we have Windows 11 Pro. So sometimes
Windows 11 Pro.
sometimes let me even check. I'm not sure this is Windows 11. Let me check. Let me check the window now. I even see. I want to be sure that this is Windows 11, because the architecture of Windows 11 and the Windows 10 is different. Still opening. Specific properties. This should be okay. This is window 10 Pro, so you can see that's why it's different. So your own is window 11. This is window 10 Pro. Are you with me, Mr. Joshua?
Yes. Yeah.
So you may have more advanced structure than mine. All right, but just one or two things differences. Any other question? I don't want to exceed.
No, that one.
So I just want to, I think we will have to stop here. Then part of those features we mentioned, let's see the one we have covered, then we'll know the one. So all this, we have to take them one by one and understand them. So, which means that today we have covered what? These two. Are you with me? So in the next class, we are going to look at what? From number 3, and then we should be able to go far. This one is a class on its own that we might not even finish, because this will take us to partitioning and protecting certain section or sector of our drive, which is one of the new introduced technology for what we call data encryption. So this one will be a class on its own. So in the next class, probably I can combine these two together. That will be on Wednesday. Are we together?
Okay.
So Joshua, I don't know if you have go through before that next class. Make sure you go through that that video that I reposted. That is the first video. So go through it. There might be one or two things you learn there. Make your notes, and please, let's be making our notes. Even though you can't make the notes in the class, later on, sit with it. This class holds only twice in a week. So you have enough time space or day space for you to sit down and master things. All right, so thank you very much. If there's no question, then we can say good night. See you on Wednesday.
Good night.
You're welcome.